Hey everybody, this is Lorelia. I am doing a video. Wanted to talk about what you see the title, what the title says, Cash Flow is King, and credit the banking scam. Now, what do I mean? Well, if you're new to this channel, on this channel I talk about, finances, funding, and freedom. And so as I do this videos a few days after the 4th of July, and if you live here in the U.S., one may say it's when United States obtained their freedom from the British. And although I'm not going to go into a history lesson of Independence Day for so-called Americans, and then of course when African Americans obtained their real freedom, but the reason why I am doing this video is to have you to think, which is why I titled the video as such. The reason being is that I'm noticing that many of these personal finance gurus, your credit kings and queens, whatever title you want to give them, they're beginning to change their messaging. So back in 2016, I did a video and I said that your ability to be debt free is based on how much income you can bring into your bank account, your household, or what have you. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll put the link, below this after this video publishes. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because I got a lot of slack on that video. Currently, right now, I got more thumbs down than I had thumbs up. And I totally get it. It's because during that time when I did that video, it went so against the popular opinions of what many people teach when it comes to being debt free. And what do I mean by that? Well, see, when people talk, and when I say people, I mean, your credit, experts, your kings and queens of credit, personal finance, or what have you, they want to make it seem like credit, being debt free, are all compartmentalized things with your money. Just do this and all the other things will fall into place. Just be debt free and all the things will fall into place. That is what popular opinion says. But when I did that video, I said that if you remove the income, and most people who struggle with credit or trying to be, debt free or whatever, or just struggle with paying debt, it will always boil down to them not having enough income to come into their bank account or their pocketbook or their wallet or what have you. That's what it all boils down to. And when I said that, people totally disagreed. But yet, I happened to be on Instagram. I was watching something, and the videos, they come up, the next video. And so the next video was, like I said, one of your, credit gurus, kings and queens, has begun to change their tune. And they want to say, cash flow is king. And although I listened to the message, I totally agreed. They say cash is not king, but cash flow. And that's pretty much a different way of saying what I've said. Because at the end of the day, none of this information is new. It may be new to the listener who may have embarked on it, but the information is not new. So the delivery may be a little different. And so back in 2016, when I did that video, I was saying the same thing. Income. You cannot disregard the conversation of income and money and just focus on credit. See, your kings and queens of credit don't want to say that because they're selling you on credit. So my goal is to just do that, is to just increase your credit score. What you do outside of that is none of my business. And see, when a person begins to have the mindset to think that I should disregard everything else and focus on this one singular thing, what happens is that their financial house is really not stable. They're building the frames, they have the roof, but they have no foundation. And I can understand them not having no foundation is because no one wants to talk about the subject of income. No one wants to talk about the subject of income. No one wants to talk about the subject of money. But now I'm beginning to see many of them change their tune. They are talking about how important it is to have cash flow. Let me turn this car on, so the phone don't die. They're beginning to talk a lot about cash flow, because as long as you have income that is coming into your bank account or into your wallet or into your purse on a regular basis, debt is not your enemy. You can begin to leverage debt. That's why I'm not with the whole debt-free conversation. But I will say this. I do believe that some people should be debt-free. Your ability to leveraging debt, leveraging credit really comes from your financial, what's the word I'm thinking? Understanding. I don't want to use understanding, but that's the only word that can come to mind right now. Maturity is your financial, it's really based on your financial maturity. You see, many people are not mature enough to get access to credit, to get access to lines of credit and leverage them to build more wealth. Most people can't. Why? It's because some people lose their freaking mind when they get access to credit. Case in point, about a week ago, I had a consultation with a guy, and wants to rebuild the credit. And one of the things that he wanted to do, which I don't do, is there a way that you can sell me trade lines? Or if you can't do that, do you know anybody who would let me would be added on their account as an authorized user so I can raise their score? Now, that is an example of someone who's financially immature. Reason why? The person already needs to rebuild their credit. They already need to do that. The current cards that was on the account were to the max. They were maxed out. So let me get this straight. You need to work out, rebuild the derogatory stuff that's on the credit. And then the current credit you have, you're paying on time, but your limits is to the max. So you totally have used up your utilizations. You're not under the 20% or whatever measure you want to use. You're to the max. And then some way or the other, you want to get access to more credit. That is an example of someone who is financially immature. And the reason why I say that is because they have they have made themselves believe that I need more. They can't even manage what they have, but they need more. And then there's problems paying on what they currently have. Like, it's a whole different animal when a person is leveraging their debt, but they got some things going on, and then eventually the stuff will be paid off. And a lot of that is in real estate, whereas people may be using their credit or maxing out their credit for rehabs or what have you. They know that, and it's a risky move, but they know that once they fix up the property, they resell it, they'll pay everything off, and they'll be back at, below utilization percentages. It's a risky move, but it's done. But at the end of the day, the credit is being leveraged. That's why I said, for the person who is selling people on, you can get loads of business lines of credit. Your business don't have no money. Your personal credit is down the tubes. But there are lenders out there who are willing to take a chance with you. But you have nothing. You have no assets to leverage. Your credit is shot. You're not leveraging that. You're not using a cosign. Your personal credit is down the tubes. But there's lenders out there that are giving you $10s to $15s to $50,000 credit lines. If they exist, sign me up. So, I want that deal. I want that deal. But I say all that to say, and this is the second part. That's why I say credit, the biggest banking scam. When you really get to a point to try to understand the economy of scales, how all this works, you will eventually find out as you go further and further down the rabbit hole and really begin to look at this whole understanding of money and finances and economics as a big game, because it really is. Like, it is really the game of Monopoly. And when you really boil down to it, what is credit? Credit is the banks extending imaginary money to consumers. Because remember, the banks have no money, but they are here to tell you that they do have money. So they're going to lend you money, imaginary money, for you to get access to credit. And then when you use that credit and you do not pay it off, they now can take from you any real wealth that you have. Whether it's a home, whether, it's a business, whatever you've used money for. That's really what credit is. Banks are not extending credit based on the amount of dollars they have. Like, they're not saying, okay, we have only $2 million in the bank, so we can only lend a certain amount. No, they're lending imaginary, like, the money does exist. And that's really what credit is. It's money, imaginary money that doesn't exist, for you to get access to, for you to really make wealth for yourself, if that's what you're doing. But then if you do not manage it correctly and you manage it incorrectly, your wealth can be taken from you. The real that you probably created for yourself. So understand how this game is played. Like, there ain't no shortcuts. It's not. I mean, it's much, like I said, I see a lot of it. And that's why I said, sign me up. Sign me up. Wherever they're doing, and like I said, sign me up as long as it's legal. Because we know you can get a lot of stuff that's illegal. But sign me. So, like I said, when I did this video talking about Independence Day, I said, freedom. It's really to free you financially, because when you're financially going through stuff, and I get it, a lot of people who watch this video, they are at a place where, they may be financially going. I am always going to stick to being a student of this information. Because when you're a student, you don't have to worry about no one bamboozling you, no one pulling wolves over your eyes. Like you don't have to worry about none of it, because you are becoming a student. And as you become a student and you study this, as well as get yours while you're at it. Don't just study and you're not getting yours. Get yours at it. But just don't be a slave to it. Because the real freedom is to be able to know how all the pieces on the chessboard play. And you just get in the game and just be able to move on the board according to how the game is played, instead of you being just a pawn. That's why I said popular opinion is now changing. More people are focused on cash flow. Like I said, when I did a video on 2016, I caught a lot of slack on it. After video processes, I put the link below this. But I caught a lot of slack. But I see that the things are changing. The conversations are changing. But I will say this, for those who want to reach out to me, you want to do a consultation, just go to consult.yourmentor.com. I know I get the comments on my videos. People ask how can they get contact with me. If you go to consult.yourmoneymentor.com, that's how you would be able to schedule a consultation. Or you can email me at loilliabb@gmail.com. Under this video, you're going to see other links and resources for, like I said, some of the topics that I talked about on this video. But that's my story, and I'm to it. Please leave me your comments. Let me know. Hit the notification button so you will be told when I'm going to be doing the next video. And share it. And leave me your thoughts.